covering every county. This is your statewide newscast. Arkansas Today.
In Mountain Home, a picture of syringes found on the ground near a school grabs law enforcement's attention. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for Arkansas Today. I'm Aaron Nolan.
And I'm Mallory Brooks. Caitlin Sinnett has more on what police and school leaders in Mountain Home discovered during that investigation.
Those two syringes were found by a woman walking through the woods between the elementary school and an apartment complex. She did not want to go on camera, but says she has found syringes in that area before. Yesterday, she posted this picture on a Facebook page, saying she found these on the ground by the elementary school in Mountain Home. The school superintendent had not seen the post and immediately looked into the situation when we told him about it last night. The police chief says officers did find the syringes, but they did not have needles in them.
It was found behind an apartment complex that is near one of our school campuses.
The chief says it was in a grassy area, and that property belongs to the Meadow Springs apartment complex, not the school. Even though the syringes were not found on their property, the superintendent says they still checked the school.
We made a sweep of the playground with SROs, custodians, administration, and ensured that nothing was near the playground.
A person who lives in the area did not want to go on camera, but says they have found syringes on the street near the complex before. The superintendent says if anyone finds anything that they think could be harmful to students, to immediately notify authorities.
Biggest thing I would say is if you see something, say something, report it to local law enforcement, report it to administration so we can start our investigation and ensure that everything's taken care of.
The police chief says investigators disposed of those syringes after they were discovered. In Mountain Home, I'm Caitlin Sinnett.
Caitlin, thank you. The home of the newly named Tyson CEO caught fire earlier on the same day he was announced to take over the Springdale-based company. It happened in Johnson. The fire broke out in the upper corner of the home on Monday morning. No one was home at the time and no injuries have been reported.
Made entry into the house, found the fire up on one of the upper levels. We're going to be here for quite a while doing the overhaul and making sure that we have all the hot spots put out.
The Johnson Fire Department tells us they believe the fire started in the upstairs fireplace and they are ruling out foul play.
In nearby Springdale, police need your help finding information about a hit and run that killed a woman last week. Take a look at the video. You can see the car leaving the gas station and speeding off last Sunday. If you got any information about that vehicle, about anything that happened, call the Springdale PD and you can remain anonymous.
Two pelicans found lifeless in the White River appear to have been shot. The illegal act has caught the attention of Game and Fish. Those birds were spotted by two brothers fishing on the White River, not far from the river bridge in Batesville. They pulled them to the bank, and that's when they noticed one was shot in the back, the other in the head.
That's not a duck hunt. That's not a quail hunt. That's not a dove hunt. This is just hunt to kill something that moved.
According to the Migratory Bird Act, pelicans are protected from being hunted. Arkansas Game and Fish, they've been notified and they are now taking a closer look.
This week's a big one for Girls Inc. out of Fort Smith. The organization is hoping to help young girls find ways to thrive right here in the natural state. Girls Inc. is now holding after-school programs at Howard and Trustee elementary schools in the River Valley. The programs are free of charge thanks to the National Girls Inc. organization.
Hope that their teachers and their parents alike will see improvement in some areas of school. Although we are an after-school program, we want them to have fun, but we also want to continue that learning outside of their school day.
The organization is focusing on literacy and math skills. Girls Inc. hopes to expand to other schools in the future.
On Monday, a first for Central Arkansas, a congressional committee taking its act on the road, hoping to save the nation billions of dollars. The House Committee on Natural Resources held a hearing in Hot Springs. The topic at hand, the National Park System's historic leasing program. 8 of Hot Springs' 9 bathhouses are leased through the program. It signs over rehab and maintenance costs to local business owners who also pay lease fees to the Park Service. Members of Congress say it's helping clear up a multi-billion-dollar backlog.
We know the bathhouses here in Hot Springs and how they've been used, from everything from a boutique hotel to a brewery that they actually brew beer with the thermal water. So a lot of opportunities across the country. We think $4 to $5 billion of that $12 billion maintenance backlog is in historic buildings.
Congressman Westerman says giving the committee a chance to see this program in action in Hot Springs will help pass a bill in the works aimed at reducing the backlog.
Vice President Mike Pence going to be here in Little Rock later this week. The Republican of Arkansas says he's going to be campaigning for Congressman French Hill. The event will be Friday at the State House Convention Center. It's free to attend, but you do need to register.
The Polish president and first lady make their first official visit to the U.S. to meet with President Trump to speak about a potential permanent U.S. military base in Poland. Meanwhile, President Trump will also be moving forward on a new round of Chinese tariffs. Those tariffs will happen on September 24th and will affect goods ranging from luggage to seafood. Homeland Security and the Government Affairs Committee will hold a hearing to discuss the detainment of immigrant children, and McDonald's workers in 10 U.S. cities go on strike.
Quick look at what happened on this day in history. How about 1851? The first edition of the New York Times was published. The nickname Gray Lady has won more than 125 Pulitzer Prize, more than any other newspaper. How about 1947? The U.S. Air Force became an independent branch of the U.S. Armed Forces.